My name is Cathy. I grew up in Mahwah. I went to Boston College, lived up in Cambridge for a while. Then I came down to New York City and I worked in oncology clinical research for the better part of 30 years. I retired a few years ago and I love gardening and love helping people, and I stumbled upon I Want to Mow Your Lawn. Ballroom dancer, Argentine tango, Latin, the gardening, traveling, spending time with friends and loved ones. Oh, storm for weather control. So it would be the ideal, like in the 70s, not overly hot, not overly cold, and certainly not raining. Oh, the moment was I read it in the paper and saw it, and first of all, it was tangible. It was hands-on. It's immediate. You're right out there. You're helping people. It's in the community. It's flexible, and it's truly helping people in need. I keep contributing because I've made a commitment, and that's very important to me. So to go back to people's homes after I've said that I would start working on it is very important. The physical for me is fun. The seeing a difference in people's yards sometimes is a lot of fun. Takes a little balancing sometimes. I actually work hard to tell people that I'll be there at some point and not commit to a day or a time. Because if I had to and something else came up and I wanted to do it, it might make me less willing to volunteer, honestly, going down the road. So the fact that I can still have my personal plan, somebody calls me up and says, hey, you want to go to lunch? I can say, yeah, and I'll do the lawn later that day and I won't feel bad. So that's a big part in keeping me able to do it, the flexibility. I very much remember it. I still work at that house, at that property. It was a couple that had recently lost their child, and it was their son that used to do their landscaping. So they were pretty stuck. I had a conversation with them on the phone. It was pretty compelling that I wanted to help them, and their yard did need the work, and it just felt so good to do it. They were so appreciative of what I just took away from it, that there are people out there that you would not meet otherwise if it wasn't for things like this, an organization that you can just go in a couple hours of your time, you help them, and it just really makes their day, and it makes mine. Yeah, I would say first got interested in landscape probably growing up. My dad did the landscaping and just working around the yard with him, but I can't really tell you. It just sort of blossomed inside of me when I had my own property. I just love seeing things grow. I love looking at other people's properties, looking at my own, seeing it grow. Techniques that I've gotten better at certainly is pruning. You need to go to other people's properties, and they have things that you don't have on your own, in your own yard. So I've taken classes, I've looked things up, I see if they'll trust me to give it a whirl, and it is a balance of art and science.
Through your time with I Want to Mow Your Lawn since the summer of 20.
Just talked to me about what a relief it is that this is one more thing off of his plate that he doesn't have to think about. He just knows that it will be taken care of, and he can just look out over his yard and know that it's done, and it's just nice. There's a property that I did most recently I love it. They have an 11-year-old son, and he does the lawn. And I love that, actually, that if they have kids in the household that they can do it, but there's just heavy pruning that needed to be done, and they didn't have anyone to do it. So I was there, and I was there for hours, but I enjoyed it. I could have been there all day for the amount of work that needed to be done, and the woman came out, the homeowner, and she was just like, this is phenomenal. But she just gave me ways to even just leave the piles of branches in the yard, and that her daughter would take care of it at some point. But just when she came out, I just knew she was so appreciative, and it helped with the neighbor, because I actually interacted with the neighbor, and he was decidedly not happy that the overgrowth was taking over his property a little bit. So it just gave me a chance to ease that pressure coming from the neighbor. I actually can't wait to go back March, and I'm going to keep doing more. And it's just things like that. Honestly, I get very involved in the landscaping, and there are things that I really want to make better for them. So they can park their car or whatever it is, and I'm very anxious for March to come so I can go at it again. It's enabled me to meet some really nice people, would be the first thing. People within the organization, like Brian. And then the other volunteers, honestly, it's just nice to meet them. But the people in the community that I've helped, it's just nice. I've gained a lot of experience in the arts, in landscaping. It's
Cool.
Oh, 100% you need to do it. And honestly, it is what you make of it. If you only want to do a little, you could do a little. If you want to do a lot, if you don't like working when it's really hot, do it in the spring or the fall. If you're busy in the fall, just do it in the spring. It's so flexible, but you're going to get that immediate feedback that you're helping people, and you'll love doing it. Well, it's definitely a couple of properties I can't wait to get back to in the spring. It's a great time to do the spring cleaning and get a head start on the season. Always grateful to Brian for starting this organization. Yeah, it's fun. It's outdoors. Do it.
Cool.